San Diego Comic-Con is absolutely one of the best fandom conventions on earth, and at the same time is definitely one of the most confusing too, and overwhelming. I'm a San Diego Comic-Con veteran, so let's get into your essential guide to make sure you navigate the convention like a pro. Hey, it's Juliet at Juliet and Beyond. If you do me a favor right now and hit the subscribe button, you're gonna help out the channel a ton. Today, we are talking about San Diego Comic-Con. This is absolutely one of my favorite conventions on earth, and I have attended conventions literally across the globe. I mean, the sheer scale of this thing from the moment that you walk up, the quality of the panels, the kind of celebrities, the announcements that San Diego Comic-Con draws, it is pretty much unrivaled around the globe. Now, at the same time, at the end of my first San Diego Comic-Con, I have to say, I walked away feeling pretty overwhelmed. I also walked away feeling like, gosh, there was so much that I didn't know going into it that I just wish someone had explained to me. That's why I created this guide for you. I've got 11 steps that are gonna be the essential must-knows for you to have a great time at your San Diego Comic-Con. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. If you're new to San Diego Comic-Con, know that it's often abbreviated as SDCC. You're gonna see that a lot throughout the video today. And it was started all the way back in the 70s. Today, it is the single biggest convention in North America, so it draws more than 130,000 participants every single year. Despite the name of Comic-Con, the con was always intended to cover more than just comics. It had a film projector even back in the original logo. But today, it scales everything from literature to television shows to movies, video games, basically everything that I love. If it's pop culture, you'll probably find a home for it at Comic-Con. For the purpose of today's video, I'm gonna assume that you already have your tickets. If you don't, and you're watching this hoping that you can attend next year, know that the tickets get sold out extremely early. And when I'm saying that, I mean basically instantly. October is generally when returning registration opens up. So that is, if you bought a ticket the year prior, you get a little bit of a head start to buying those tickets. And November is when the general sale happens. You basically have to be in queue the moment the sales open up. And even then, the tickets are extremely competitive, hard to get. So start checking the San Diego Comic-Con website in October to see when that general sale date opens up. And don't buy from resellers, okay? As soon as you've got your tickets, the next thing to do, of course, is to look at flights and your hotel. I'm not gonna go super into depth into how to book hotels because that is yet another involved process here. But what you should know is that there is a hotel lottery that happens each year. It opens up in around May, but it's important to know that you should register for that lottery if you want the best chance of getting a cheap hotel. Otherwise, you can scour the city for a good hotel deal. The prices are definitely gonna be inflated, or Airbnb is always an option too. Oh, and by the way, in that same time frame between April and May, there's also even a lottery that happens for parking spots around the convention area. Yeah, I was not kidding when I said that this convention has a lot to know. All right, now I've given you a taste of all your fundamentals. Let's get into those 11 tips that you need to know. So number one, know where to look for what information. Yeah, this one almost seems self-explanatory, but there are so many resources out there, and one of the most valuable things you can arm yourself with on a con weekend is just knowing where to look for what information, particularly in real time. So of course, we're gonna start with the Comic-Con officials. You gotta go to the Comic-Con official website. That's gonna tell you all the basic pertinent information. And you're also gonna wanna make sure you read through all the rules and regulations here about like what you can bring with you, costume guidelines if you're cosplaying. It's got all your 101. Along with that, also recommend strongly, I'd say it's an essential actually, downloading the Comic-Con official app. This is basically how I navigate my schedule throughout the course of a con weekend. I will build my entire schedule in the portal, and then I'll rely on the app to give me push notifications and tell me where I'm supposed to be going when. That's the officially sanctioned stuff, but there are some tools that I rely on time and time again. And though I'm not the biggest fan of X, I will tell you that it is still one of the best sources of real-time information as to what's happening on the show floor and around the grounds of SDCC. I'll get more into how this is helpful for navigating day of, but things like real-time pictures of what the lines look like, X has always been an invaluable resource. Some accounts that I follow, the SDCC unofficial account, SD_Comic-Con, Parks and Cons, and you can also follow the hashtag SDCC tips. Another website I love is the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog. This blog is going to keep you up to date on everything that's happening in and around the con. It has super in-depth guides, and I totally recommend doing some deep dives and watching some of the videos on this site. When it comes to transit, there are 3 big apps. 2 you probably already have on your phone, Uber and Lyft. I use a ton of them over the course of a con weekend. And then also specific to San Diego is the app Pronto. If you're using any of the San Diego trolleys, this one's going to tell you basically when to do that and how to do that. Number 2, look for the portal open. So you may think that once you get through the gauntlet that is the general sale for Comic-Con, you're like, I'm good. It's just time for me to pack my suitcase and I'm ready to roll into Comic-Con. Yeah, that's what I did my first year. Huge mistake. Another huge milestone in the Comic-Con planning process is when the portal actually opens, because there are tons of things that you need to pre-register for if you actually want to experience them during the convention weekend. This pre-registration will all happen on the Comic-Con official website, and you'll do that in the same place where you bought your badge. So you'll sign in with your member ID and the information will all be there waiting for you. Look for the portal to open in late June to early July. This will happen pretty close to the actual convention. There you get an allocation of opportunities to sign up for basically lotteries for experiences you can have over the course of the weekend. This can range from anything from having the opportunity to buy certain exclusives, gain entrance to certain booths on the show floor, to getting yourself registered for autograph signings. And yes, there is a lottery even for those autograph signings. This is an absolutely major milestone. You want to be making sure you're checking the Comic-Con official website about when this portal is going to actually open, and you don't want to miss your opportunity to sign up for these lotteries. It's going to have a big impact on what you can do over the course of the weekend. Now, it's worth noting the portal isn't going to be absolutely comprehensive, so there is a chance that some booths on the show floor will have their own protocols about how you can get in. It's worth checking the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog if there is a certain booth that you really, really want to get into. Number 3, plan to get around. San Diego Comic-Con is spanned so much bigger than the actual just convention center itself. It really takes over the city. The Gaslamp District is going to feel totally taken over during the con weekend. There will be so many different activations going on. The restaurants will have special deals. There'll be after parties. I think this is part of the fun of San Diego Comic-Con. But just like with the portal entry, you are going to require some preparation to enjoy and experience a lot of this stuff. Many of the events will require either you purchase an additional ticket or sign up for a specific time slot in order to enjoy the experience. So you want to make sure you don't miss out on that. My favorite resource for keeping tabs on this is the calendar page on the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial website. This will give you a one-shot glance at basically everything going on around the city and around the con itself. A couple of other things that I love to do, checking out the Comic-Con official museum over the course of the weekend, and I definitely recommend you do at least one of the after parties. Mos Eisley is always a blast. Put yourself out there, even if you're not a social person. This is a really fun time to connect with other people at the con. Now, for how easy it is to actually get between these experiences, as I mentioned, I use Uber and Lyft a ton. It always serves me pretty well. I also do a ton of walking over the course of the weekend. And don't forget that San Diego Comic-Con also offers a complimentary shuttle service. So if you're staying at a hotel on the shuttle line, you'll be able to utilize that the entire weekend. So this is a convention. You are definitely going to need to make sure that your packing list is on point. Of course, if you're cosplaying, you're going to need to go through your entire cosplay packing process. Make sure your cosplays arrive in good condition. But what else should you be bringing with you? If you can, comfy shoes are definitely recommended. You are going to end up standing in lines for so many hours, doing so much walking over the course of the con. My feet were absolutely dead by the end of Sunday. So comfortable shoes are going to be a lifesaver if, of course, they fit in with your aesthetic vision. Like most other cons, you're also going to want to make sure you have those essentials like a water bottle that's refillable, snacks if you need to take them with you on the go, and then, of course, a rechargeable battery. You're going to want to make sure that you can keep your phone alive and with you over the course of waiting in all those lines and of course of long con days. And now a couple things you might forget that you should be bringing with you: sunscreen. There's going to be a lot more outside time, this is San Diego, and a lot more sunshine than you're probably thinking about when you're imagining being inside in the San Diego Convention Center all day long. So quick items to fix up your cosplays if you need, like a hand sewing kit and safety pins. And don't forget about what you want to leave the convention with. So you're going to want extra room in your suitcase so you can bring all your swag back with you. I know a lot of Funko collectors will like to bring pop protector sleeves with them. And of course, any items you want to have autographed, that should be in your packing list too. Typically, I'll bring a whole separate suitcase with me so that I can load it up with all my goodies and not have to stress on the way back, but easy enough for me to say, I'm in driving range. San Diego Comic-Con, regardless of how meticulous you are about planning, is going to have some unexpected challenges, some hurdles, some things that don't go exactly how you envision. And that is totally okay. 2 weeks out from the con start, the entire schedule is going to drop on the San Diego Comic-Con website and app. I'll usually go into the app and build out my ideal day, but I'll build some flexibility in there. So I'll usually, for any given time slot, have my preferred goal activity, and then I'll also have the second thing that I can pivot to if things don't go exactly how I planned. That could be due to anything like a line is a little bit longer than I thought. Maybe a panel is a bit more popular than I was expecting. Your con weekend is going to take so many twists and turns, some of them really delightful and wonderful. There are going to be things that you never even dreamed of doing that will probably fall into your lap. Don't get your heart set on one particular vision of what your con weekend is going to look like. Stay flexible. Keep that backup option in your mind for each of your time slots so that you have lots of flexibility built in there and you're open to see what the weekend brings you. The real heart of Comic-Con Comic-Con, in my opinion, besides the show floor, really is the panels. The panels are wonderful. This is where you're really gonna see industry experts. You're gonna get exciting announcements. They are definitely an essential part of the experience. I usually try to attend anywhere between 1 to 3 panels on any given day. And the thing that I didn't expect is that most panels at San Diego Comic-Con are actually pretty easy to get into. And I'm talking about most panels. You'll typically just line up anywhere between 0 to 20 minutes before the panel actually starts, walk in, grab a seat, and experience it. But there are some that this is definitely not the case. I'm gonna tell you, rely on your instincts here. So if you look at the panel lineup, who is on it is gonna be a great hint as to how popular it's gonna be. As soon as you see any celebrity attached to a panel, it's instantly gonna skyrocket in popularity. And the general rule of thumb is that the later in the day the panel is, the more in demand probably it will be for attendance. That should influence how early you choose to line up if that panel is on what are your must-dos for the day. But one unique thing for San Diego Comic-Con is you really need to consider the room schedule for the day as a whole. Some cons will do this differently, but San Diego Comic-Con chooses not to flush rooms in between panel sessions. So that means you can get some folks who arrive into a room, post up for the day, and then wait all the way until 7, 8 p.m. in that single chair, reserving it for the entire day. That means you always want to be mindful and aware of what's coming after the panel you want to go to, because that could definitely change how early you'll need to arrive in order for you to get a seat. There are 2 other rooms that kind of buck the trend and have their own special set of rules and considerations. Let's talk about Ballroom 20 and Hall H next. Number 7, the special panel rooms. So yes, Ballroom 20 and Hall H are kind of animals of their own. They're different beasts entirely when it comes to seeing panels in them. Ballroom 20, definitely the more straightforward of the 2. So this is the second biggest room you're gonna see over the course of the weekend. It seats almost 5,000 people at 4,800 people seating capacity. And it hosts, the second most popular panels. As I mentioned earlier, this follows that protocol where folks will be able to camp out and will camp out over the course of an entire day. So some folks will arrive in the morning around 9 a.m. and they will set up shop, and they will not leave that seat until the end of the evening. And there'll typically be a line that stretches so far all the way out, down, and outside that you'll think that you're in the wrong place. You're not. So it's pretty unwise for you to approach Ballroom 20 and think that you're gonna be able to instantly cruise in and get a seat for the panel that you wanna see. Yes, this line can definitely look daunting, but the good news is the San Diego Comic-Con staff will always be monitoring the room in between panels and will periodically backfill those seats as people get up and vacate the room. I would absolutely plan on arriving several hours before the panel you wanna get to see in Ballroom 20, but know that you're gonna get to see a great show once you're in. Hall H, on the other hand, is the big mama jama. Jama? Now, unlike Ballroom 20, Hall H is incredibly complicated. This is one of those things that absolutely caught me so off guard on my first San Diego Comic-Con weekend. I was like, wait a minute, you're telling me I have to get in line before I get in line before I get in line? Why is that? Well, that is because the single biggest panels that are gonna happen the entire Comic-Con weekend are gonna be at Hall H. And the single biggest marquee event is typically on Saturday nights, and that's the Marvel panel. This has been where some of the biggest actors, announcements, the geeking out it really all happens in Hall H. I'm gonna explain to you what the protocols were for Hall H in 2024, but know that this could evolve every single year as Comic-Con continues to adjust and adapt their process. To get a seat in Hall H is gonna require some real dedication and waiting in a line to wait in a line. Okay, let me explain. Starting from the beginning, a next day line will form 2 days before the Hall H panel that you wanna get into. So for instance, if you wanna get into that Saturday Hall H panel, you'll need to be in line in the next day line on Thursday evening. I'm gonna put a helpful graphic on screen for you here. When the next day line opens is intentionally left a bit of a mystery. It can sometimes be early in the morning or typically late in the evening. The Comic-Con staff will literally drop a green flag in the area that I'm showing here on the map, and then the next day line will form. After that green flag drops, expect a whole bunch of hours of waiting. Comic-Con will typically announce when the official wristband distribution will happen a few days closer to the actual con itself. Line saving is allowed here, so you can have a friend save a spot for you in this line. It typically works for 1 person can hold a spot for up to 2 others. To make things a bit more confusing, in 2024, Comic-Con also handed out line wristbands that said you were actually waiting in the line and not holding spots for like 20 of your other friends. The line wristband simply said that you were there waiting in line so that you were actually queued up in the right spot to get that official Hall H wristband. The line wristbands are cool, but even cooler and what everyone's actually after is the toucan tracker or first seating wristbands. These will be colored and labeled in 4 different sections, which basically tells you where you can sit in Hall H itself. These wristbands will be distributed up until 7:30 a.m. the next day or until all the wristbands for Hall H run out for the day. With one of those wristbands, you're all but guaranteed a seat in Hall H for the next day. After you receive your wristband, you can head out, or some folks do choose to camp so that they can get excellent spots in Hall H. For me, the camping, it's a little bit much, so you're gonna catch me back in my hotel room. To make sure you get into Hall H the next day, simply return before 7:30 a.m. and you're gonna be all set for the rest of the day. And remember, what I mentioned about the rooms not getting flushed in between panels, that does apply for Hall H too. So you're gonna see folks definitely sitting the entire day through all the panels. So most folks are gonna be parking it inside of Hall H for snacks, meals, bathrooms, absolutely everything throughout the course of the day. Now, while Hall H may seem like a real quintessential part of the San Diego Comic-Con experience that you have to get, you don't, okay? I wanna mention this. I have done Comic-Con weekends where I have not done anything in Hall H because I didn't really feel like going through the gauntlet of the line wristband and the wristband and the wristbands to get a wristband. Don't feel like you're missing out. Don't feel like you're doing San Diego Comic-Con wrong if you don't catch anything in Hall H. You can absolutely have a great time experiencing everything else the show has to offer. Number 8, plan for lots of shopping. So yes, this girl here, I love to shop, and there is such a wide range of cool merch available at San Diego Comic-Con, from rare and exclusive pins to unique autographed posters to small shops that are making handcrafted items. Then of course, there's all the big time collectibles. Like, this is definitely a time where I'm stocking up on my Her Universe, I'm stocking up on my lounge flies. Yeah, that's where the extra suitcase for the merch haul that I have, that's where that comes in handy. One thing I do recommend, if you're a big time shopper like me, is set a target budget for yourself for shopping specifically over the course of the weekend, so you don't end up on the show floor eyeing something that really is out of range for you or financially irresponsible. But let's face it, this is the time to be financially irresponsible. One other key part of the show experience is the exclusives. Now with that, you've got to be well researched as to what the show exclusives are, and you understand what you've got your eye on. San Diego Comic-Con unofficial website is going to be a great resource for this. We'll have a complete and comprehensive list, and it'll be updated a whole bunch in the days leading up to the show. Don't forget about using the portal to register for those exclusive drops that you want. And of course, arriving early enough for shopping is going to be really key to each day for you. The show floor says that it opens up at 9:30 each morning. That is definitely not what really happens in practicality. On most days, the San Diego Comic-Con show floor is going to actually open around 9 a.m. and folks will begin lining up to get onto the show floor several hours before that. Some folks literally getting in line as early as 5 a.m. When you should arrive on the show floor absolutely depends on what your shopping goals are. Only you can know that. It's up to you if there's something that you absolutely must have and you know you've got to be first on the show floor in order to get that item. For me, I'm more of a arrive around 10 a.m., skip all the lines and head straight in type. Speaking of how early you should arrive, number 9, anticipate long days. Yeah, so if you haven't already gathered by all the protocols around Hall H, the early lineups to get onto the show floor, all the bevy of after-con activities, these are gonna be really long days, sometimes ranging up into that 14, 15, 16 hour plus range. I always plan to not do anything once the con's over. It's like the vacation that you're gonna need a vacation from. One year, I foolishly thought that I could hang out in San Diego afterwards and do a whole bunch of fun things, go to a ton of restaurants. Yeah, expect to be completely wiped out, like in the best possible way, like really energized, but wiped out. In the days leading up to the con, you definitely want to make sure you're getting as much sleep as you can, because you're probably going to be shorter on sleep hours. And you definitely want to make sure whatever you can do to be prepared for lots of walking, lots of standing in the days and weeks leading up to it, that's going to help you out throughout the con weekend. Number 10, don't skip the masquerade. One of the things that I'm obsessed with every year is seeing all the incredible cosplays at San Diego Comic-Con. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to see them. You can simply stand outside and you're probably gonna get lots of great snaps of all the incredible cosplayers standing around. One of my preferred ways to do it is to see the masquerade that happens on Saturday night. The masquerade will showcase some of the most intricate, most detailed, and highest level of cosplay craft that you're gonna see all San Diego Comic-Con weekend. Some of them are too intense to even really be worn for walking around the show floor. Free tickets to attend the masquerade are distributed around noon on Saturday, right around Ballroom 20, and then between 3 and 5 p.m. on that Saturday afternoon too. Once you have your ticket, you're guaranteed a seat at the masquerade, but there's also a standby line for folks who have missed the chance to get tickets earlier in the day, if you're, down for rolling the dice. I make sure I catch the cosplay competitions at absolutely every single con that I come to, and I love seeing this one at San Diego Comic-Con. Number 11, enjoy yourself and don't get overwhelmed. I know I covered a ton of information in this video and some of it may still seem overwhelming. Know that there are information booths that will answer any questions you have over the course of the weekend. Know that there is a ton of great online resources for you that you can read up on ahead of San Diego Comic-Con. And also know that I'm here for you in the comment section. If you've got questions, if you're worried about what you're gonna miss, totally down, let's chat in the comments. I so encourage you to take your time and slow down and just take this opportunity over the course of the weekend to connect with other people in the community who love fandoms as much as you do. That's what this event is really all about. And there is no must do, absolute thing that you have to be at. Nothing is going to invalidate your San Diego Comic-Con experience if you don't get to see it one year. Don't worry, we've got this. Well, that wraps it up talking about everything San Diego Comic-Con. I'm heading to the con this year. I'm hoping that I'm going to run into you. Please come grab me if you see me anywhere on the show floor. I would absolutely love to chat with you. I'll be back here next week with a new video talking theme parks, fandoms, and beyond. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see it. And of course, I'll see you next week.